Martian, Merlin, Michaela. Okay, table 9. Oh my god! Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? Right now! I have to go against Luke Coogan in round 1! Hey everybody, it's Bulbe. Welcome back to my channel. So recently I entered a remote duel tournament called the Win a PS5 tournament, where, as it suggests in the name, you could win a PS5. So this was a little bit different to any other remote duel I've had. I've only ever done one other remote duel, and there was only about 28 people entered in that one. However, with this one, there was a grand total of 71 people who entered the tournament in total, which was terrifying in the first place. But we entered it anyway. So I was playing Dragonmaids, and I decided to go with kind of a control variant of Dragonmaids. So my deck was kind of specifically built to go up against decks like Virtual World and Drytrons, just because they are the meta right now. So I assumed the majority of people would be playing these decks, especially with a PS5 on the line. One of the people that I was testing with for this remote duel tournament was a guy called Luke. Unfortunately, round 1 out of the 71 people I could have gone against, I went against Luke. This was pretty unfortunate just because he knew my deck really well. He actually helped me build my deck, and I was getting a lot of my pointers from him. So I wasn't very confident I was going to win in the first place, but I did give it my best shot, and I feel like I really went the rounds with it, at least. So I'll get right into the first match with Luke. I was able to go first because I won the dice roll. So I started off by normal summoning Parlor Dragonmaid, and then I ended up on Spears and Tidying because that is full combo. On Luke's turn, he used Queenglong's target spheres to negate my spheres, which I ended up having to chain spheres, and then I was able to bring out Nurse, which made sure my trap was live. I added Tidying of Chamber again as well. So then Luke went into his the main play, which was Lulu target Chuche, which is kind of the Virtual World special, if you will. So I chained my Dragonmaid Tidying to that to bounce the Chuche back to the hand, which sends Lulu back to hand because there's nothing on field for Lulu to target to summon herself. So after I had used Sears and Tidying, Luke was still able to get out the Shen, which is a bit of a problem for me because anything that leaves the field to the graveyard gets banished instead, and I need my stuff in graveyard. So he just attacks straight over the Dragonmaid Nurse, and she gets banished because she left the field to the graveyard. Then Luke tried to use Lau, but luckily, because my Nurse was gone, my Gamma was now live, so I was able to use Gamma, the driver. And then he goes end phase, adds back his Lulu, and passes to me. So I start by normal summoning Chamber, adding Changeover back to my hand. Then I banish Tidying for 1. Bring back Parlor, use her effect to dump Lorpar, the big Dragonmaid. Then go to battle phase. And at the start of the battle phase, use Parlor's effect to bounce yourself back to my hand to bring out the bigger Dragonmaid. And this is where I bloody misplayed. So I thought, in my head for some reason, I thought Shen was in defense mode. So I thought I could beat it with my big Dragonmaid monster, but it was actually in attack mode, and Shen is 28,000 in attack and Lorpar is only 27,000. So that was a huge misplay by my part. So then Luke chains Chuche, targeting Lorpar, and my Lorpar gets banished. Thus, one of my big Dragonmaid monsters gone. Because my plan was then to use Changeover to fusion into Shio, so I had to go House instead because I had 2 Dragonmaid monsters in my hand, thankfully, and they could go to the graveyard instead of being banished. So I didn't have to banish my Changeover or Chamber on field. So then back over to Luke. In his standby phase, I was able to summon out another Dragonmaid monster, which was great. because of House's effect to target Chamber and bring out a Dragonmaid monster with one level lower or one level higher, and then I had Parlour and Grave, so I could bring back my Parlour, and then I used Parlour's effect to dump the other big Dragonmaid Ernest. So then Luke uses Qinglong to banish Lao Lao, targeting my house to negate her effects this turn, so I can't bounce during the battle phase, or I can't destroy a monster during the battle phase. And then he activates Chuche to banish my Chamber. And then he goes into battle phase and attacks my Parlour, and she gets banished. She would get banished, but I chain tidying to bounce the Shen Shen, finally making it so I can have monsters in the graveyard again instead of being banished. And this is where I realized I could quite possibly be buggered with Lulu targeting Chuche, which is, as you all know, virtual world titty combo. And then he manages to sync her into Croc, and then of course manages to get to VFD by using Lulu. And then just in the mid phase he adds back his Lulu by GG. Okay. So then back over to my turn. Draw phase, he activated VFD and he called Dark. So I go for the normal summon. I normal summon Parlour. I don't use her effect at all. So then I banish Tiding to special summon a Dragonmaid monster. So I special summon Kitchen from Grave. Again, I can't use her effects because of VFD. And then I link the two into Heretics again. And I forgot about Juche's end phase effect to get rid of my spheres. So now I should have probably left the two Dragonmaids out instead of going into spheres. So then back to Luke's turn, and he completely pops off, combos off. I have no hand traps, there's nothing I can do about this, and he eventually gets to a second VFD, much to my despair. VFD was just going to keep stomping on me anytime I tried to use any form of effects, and yeah, that was the end of that game. I made the decision to go to game 2 because then at least I'd have a little bit more time to try and not misplay on game 2. Game 2. First off, I normal summon Chamber. Use her effect to search for Dragonmaid Tiding. Then Chamber ended up on spheres and Tidying, and I passed there. But then Luke evenly matches me and I banish my trap face down, and then he passes. So I activate Extrav on my turn again, and I'm able to draw 2 cards because he doesn't have an Ash. So then I use World Legacy Guard Dragon to bring back Chamber. Use Chamber's effect to search for Hospitality. Then I activate Hospitality to special summon Parlour and dump Lorpar. And at this stage, Luke concedes the match because he doesn't want to go into time. So then we can go into game 3, and he has the advantage, so he can go first in game 3. So that was a very, very quick match, game 2. So we go into game 3, and straight off the bat I use Lancia to stop him banishing cards this turn. Then Luke activates Qinglong and uses Lulu to target Qinglong, which is the VFD combo, so then he makes his way to VFD quite easily, and I had nothing to stop him. So then he adds Lulu back and passes turn. I activate Extrav, banish 6 cards, and then I get ashed. Whoop whoop. Then I try to normal summon Parlour, but I have no way to get a second Dragonmaid monster out or a second Dragon monster out to get to Heretics, so I just link Parlour into Pisty. And then I set one and I pass because honestly I don't have any hand traps except for Ash in my hand, and I was saving the Ash for Lulu because I drew that for turn. So then Luke activates Shen Shen and banishes Ash and Gigi. Then chains the Chuche to Pisty to get rid of Pisty. He activates VFD, calls Light. And then Lulu targets Chuche. So I Ash the Lulu here. But then he activates Laulau to target Chuche. And there's absolutely nothing I can do here. So I do concede here because there was nothing else I could do, unfortunately. Although the thing is though, so Luke ended up going on to top 8. Like, he's a really good duelist, and like I said, he knew my deck very well, and we were testing all week long for this particular event, so we're very familiar with each other's decks, and he was the better duelist in this case.